Welcome. You're here because you're fighting something. Maybe it's an urge, a craving, maybe even a pattern you thought you'd left behind. Whatever brought you here, you're not alone. This moment is your sanctuary. This meditation is a tool. Tonight, you're taking back your power. Let's begin. Find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. Let your hands rest gently. Gently close your eyes. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose. And slowly release through your mouth. Again, in through the nose. Hold. And out. Begin to soften your body. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Loosen the muscles in your face. Relax your hands, your belly, your legs. Feel gravity holding you, effortlessly. You're supported. You're safe here. Now, let's turn toward what you're feeling. Is there tension? A craving? That restless energy building inside? Don't resist it. Don't push it away. Just notice it. Breathe with it. Where do you feel it most? Your chest, your stomach, your hands? Just bring your attention there gently. Imagine the urge as a cloud inside you. It might feel hot, buzzing, uncomfortable. But it is not you. You are the space in which the urge is happening. And you are greater than it. Say this silently in your mind. I feel the craving, and I choose not to follow it. This feeling is allowed to be here, but it doesn't control me. I am still. I am present. I am stronger than the urge. Every breath you take, you're riding it out. Every moment you stay present, the craving loses its grip. Imagine now a future version of yourself. 1 week clean. 1 month clean. Waking up with clarity. Moving through the day without guilt. Feeling proud, confident, free. That version of you is already forming. Through this choice, this breath, this moment of resistance. Now let's affirm this. I am not my addiction. I am not my past. I choose healing. I choose peace. I am free. Let those words settle into your body. Let them become truth. And now, let yourself drift deeper. No need to try. Just allow. If thoughts come, let them pass. If the urge returns, breathe into it, then let it dissolve like mist. You are doing exactly what you need to do. You are already winning. This moment, right here, is victory. Let your breath guide you now. Deeper into calm, deeper into rest, deeper into peace. You've made a powerful choice tonight. One you'll remember tomorrow. One that builds a stronger you. The urge didn't win. You did. Rest now. You're safe. You're strong. And you are healing. Good night. Post-meditation storytime script, The Lighthouse on Willow Point. Intro, transitioning from meditation. Pause for a breath. You can stay right where you are, no need to move just yet. Keep your body relaxed, keep your breathing steady. And if your mind wants to drift a little, that's perfectly okay. Right now, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about hope, and about finding your way back when you've wandered a little too far. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. And sometimes, persistence looks like falling, and getting back up, over and over again. This story takes place in a small coastal town, one you won't find on any map. Part 1, The Setting. There's a stretch of rocky coastline up in the far northeast where the air always smells like rain, even on sunny days. The waves crash against the black stones in slow, steady breaths, like the ocean itself is alive and breathing with you. And standing tall at the far end of a narrow peninsula is the lighthouse of Willow Point. The lighthouse isn't grand or glossy white like the ones in postcards. Its paint is peeling. Rust stains run down from the bolts holding its railings in place. And at night, when the lamp inside spins slowly, the glass gives off a faint hum, almost like it's whispering. People in town say it's haunted. Others say it's blessed. But everyone agrees on one thing: the lighthouse keeper, an older man named Elias, never leaves it. Part 2, The Keeper. Elias had been the keeper for almost 40 years. His beard was more silver than black now, and his hands were always covered in the faint smell of kerosene. He kept the light burning every night, no matter the weather, storms, blizzards, even when the wind screamed so loudly it rattled the lighthouse windows. But what most people didn't know was that Elias wasn't born a lighthouse keeper. He had lived a very different life before arriving here. One that was tangled up in things he'd rather forget. When he was young, Elias had been caught in a cycle. He didn't talk much about it, but there were whispers. Some said he drank too much. Others said he'd gotten mixed up in debts, in people, in choices that pulled him under. And like the tide, those habits kept pulling him back out to sea, even when he thought he'd made it to shore. Part 3, The Night That Changed Everything. One stormy night, decades ago, Elias was out on a fishing boat with a friend. The waves were rough, and the wind cut through their coats like knives. At some point, the sky cracked open with lightning, and Elias lost his footing. He fell into the freezing water, and the current began to drag him farther and farther away from the boat. In the chaos, he looked up and saw it, a faint, spinning beam cutting through the rain. The Willow Point Lighthouse. He swam toward that light like it was the only thing in the world, and somehow, he made it to shore. The keeper at the time, a tall woman with sharp eyes and weather-beaten hands, pulled him out of the water and wrapped him in blankets. "You keep chasing storms," she told him, "and you'll keep needing someone else to pull you out." Those words stuck with him. Part 4, Choosing to Stay. Elias didn't plan to stay. But the keeper offered him work, just until he got back on his feet. Something about the routine, cleaning the lenses, refilling the oil, listening to the ocean's rhythm, began to steady him. He still stumbled. There were nights when old habits whispered to him, promising comfort they couldn't deliver. But every time he walked up the narrow spiral staircase to light that lamp, he remembered the night it had guided him home. And slowly, he realized, the lighthouse wasn't just saving ships. It was saving him, too. Part 5, The Visitor. Years later, long after Elias had become the keeper himself, a visitor arrived. It was a young woman named Mara, soaked from the rain, shivering in the wind. She said she'd gotten lost hiking the cliffs and didn't know how to get back to town. Elias made her tea and sat her down by the stove. She didn't say much at first, just stared at the fire. But as the hours passed, she began to talk about the things she was running from. It was the same pull Elias had once felt. Different details, same undertow. Part 6, Listening Without Judgment. Elias didn't interrupt Mara's story. He knew from experience that when you've been carrying a heavy load for a long time, what you need most is space to set it down, even if only for a little while. Mara's voice was shaky at first, but the longer she spoke, the steadier it became. She told him about nights she couldn't sleep because her thoughts were too loud. About days she promised herself she'd do better, only to end up in the same places with the same people, repeating the same patterns. "I feel like I'm rowing against the current," she said. "I get a little closer to shore, and then the tide just pulls me back out." Elias nodded slowly. "I know that feeling," he said. "The trick isn't to fight the current. It's to find something worth swimming toward." Part 7, A Lesson from the Sea. They stayed in the lighthouse kitchen until the rain softened into a gentle drizzle. Elias pulled a small wooden box from a shelf and set it in front of Mara. Inside was a compass, old, worn, and slightly dented. "This got me through more storms than I can count," he told her. "But here's the thing, a compass doesn't stop the storm, and it doesn't make the journey easy. It just keeps you pointed in the right direction. Even when you drift, it'll help you find your way back." Mara turned the compass over in her hands. "Is that what the lighthouse is for?" she asked. Elias smiled. "The lighthouse is for everyone else. The compass, that's for you." Part 8, The Work of Keeping the Light. Over the next few days, Mara stayed on at the lighthouse. It wasn't planned, she just didn't feel ready to go back to whatever waited for her in town. Elias put her to work, cleaning the salt from the glass panes, checking the wick in the lamp, hauling water from the rain barrels. It was quiet work, repetitive, almost meditative. And slowly, Mara began to notice something. The light didn't just happen. Every night, Elias climbed the long spiral stairs to check the lamp. Every morning, he maintained it. Some nights, the storms blow so hard I can barely keep it lit, Elias told her. But I climb those stairs anyway, because I know someone out there might need it. Part 9, The First Slip. One evening, while Elias was mending a fishing net in the corner, Mara slipped out. The night air was cool, the tide low. She walked down to the edge of the rocks, and the pull was there, that quiet, familiar voice telling her she could just go. Go back to what she knew. Back to the habits that felt comfortable even though they hurt. Her feet shifted toward the path that led to the road. But then, out of the corner of her eye, she caught the beam of the lighthouse sweeping across the water. It felt like an anchor in her chest. She turned back. Part 10, Understanding Relapse. When she returned, Elias didn't scold her. He just handed her a mug of tea and said, "The tide's always going to try to pull you out. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." Mara stared into her tea. "I thought I'd be stronger than this." Elias shook his head. "Strength isn't never slipping. It's noticing when you start to drift, and turning back before the current takes you too far." Part 11, The Lantern Room. One night, Elias invited Mara to join him in the lantern room, the highest part of the lighthouse. The climb was narrow, and the air smelled faintly of salt and oil. From up there, the ocean stretched endlessly in every direction. The stars looked close enough to touch. And down below, the beam of light swept across the water in steady arcs. "This is why I stayed," Elias said quietly. "When I keep the light going, I'm reminded that no matter how dark the night gets, there's always something to steer toward." Part 12, Mara's Compass. On her last morning at the lighthouse, Mara found the old compass sitting on the kitchen table with a note. The note read, "You'll drift. That's okay. Just keep turning back toward the light." She slipped the compass into her pocket and stepped outside. The ocean roared below, the lighthouse stood tall behind her, and for the first time in a long time, she felt ready to try again. Part 13, The Years After. Mara visited the lighthouse again, years later. Elias was older now, slower in his movements, but the light still burned every night. She told him about the storms she'd been through since leaving. The relapses, the recoveries, the days she felt strong, and the days she didn't. And each time she faltered, she'd pull out the compass, run her thumb over the dented brass, and remember the beam cutting through the dark. Elias listened, smiling quietly. "You kept swimming toward it," he said. Closing reflection to the listener. Maybe your lighthouse is a person. Maybe it's a practice, a place, a reminder you carry in your pocket. Whatever it is, it's not about never drifting, it's about knowing how to turn back when you do. And just like the lighthouse needs the keeper, you need to tend to your own light, even on days you feel like the storm is winning. Especially on those days. So as you carry this story with you, remember. The tide will rise, the waves will crash, and the wind will howl. But somewhere out there, your light is still burning. And you are worth swimming toward it.